Hello everybody, this is my first ever official YouTube video and I am super excited to be opening this channel. My name is Jade Michael. I am a speaker, a coach, and the founder of Neurosovereignty, which is both a mission and a program that teaches people how to become their own sanctuary by mastering their mindset, regulating their nervous system so they can feel peace and pleasure in their body, and then reconnecting them to their divine authenticity as well so they can live their life really walking in their purpose. And really central to this work is this concept of sanctuary. What does it mean to be a sanctuary? What is sanctuary? And the way that I really see this, along with my co-facilitator, Alea Moon, who works with me in Neurosovereignty, is this concept that as human beings, we are meant to have a full dynamic range of human experience. We experience joy and anger and sadness and excitement and grief and loss and expansion, so many different things. And our bodies, our minds are equipped. We come designed with the ability to feel all of these things. It's how we learn, it's how we grow, it's part of our human evolutionary journey. But when we are younger, it's pretty common for us to receive words or narratives from our society or our caregivers like, don't be mad, or it's okay, don't cry, or just sit there and sit still and be quiet. And in that way, we learn to suppress all of these big emotions that move through us. And then we start to believe that these big emotions are wrong and somehow they're bad or shameful, and we have all of these layers of suppression and guilt and shame that can come with them later in life. And the truth is, we need all of these experiences. Like I said, this is how we grow, this is how we learn. And so yes, life is meant to be fun and exciting and enchanting, and it's also meant to be challenging and sad, and experiences of anger come with that sometimes too. And to be a sanctuary means to be able to move through all of these waves of emotion with grace, with love, with understanding, and then be able to come back into center. And that's really what it means to have a regulated nervous system, because having a regulated nervous system is certainly not being calm all of the time. That would be boring anyway. We don't want that. We want to be calm a lot of the time. It feels good to be peaceful and calm and to move through the world in a way that you're at ease. And we also want to be able to get excited. We want to be able to feel big states of joy. And we want to be able to come back to center afterwards without getting all dysregulated and frazzled. Or I'm sure many of us have had the experience where one day you're really excited and then the next day you're really sad and kind of down in the dumps because that pendulum tends to swing. And so to be a sanctuary means having the capacity to move through all of these waves and then also be able to make your way back into center. And, one thing that I see a lot in the people that I work with are all of these narratives, like I mentioned before, of shame or guilt that these feelings shouldn't be experienced, or they're not healthy expressions of the human experience. But once we can start to remember that this is indeed part of why we're here, to go through all of these different waves, then we can have a lot more patience for ourselves and also have a lot more patience for our loved ones as they go through these things as well. Because I'm sure we've all also had the experience of seeing someone who's really excited and really blissed out and it feels kind of annoying because we're not there, or someone who's really sad and really down and it's like, ugh, come on, like pick yourself up, let's go. And so we have these judgments that we project onto other people from their experience as well. But if we're a sanctuary within ourselves, we have this radical self-acceptance of all of the emotions that move through us and our ability to come back to center, then we're able to give that gift of understanding and sanctuary to other people as well, which is an extraordinary gift to be able to give in this day and age, because life can be challenging sometimes and we all need a little bit more patience. And one last thing I wanted to touch on in this video, because I've had several clients say to me that the work we do through Neurosovereignty feels like 7 years of therapy in 4 months, or they've had more breakthroughs in this short amount of time than they had in decades of therapy. And I had similar experiences for myself. I was in talk therapy for quite a long time for obsessive compulsive disorder, and I had one therapist that was helpful, but more than that, I had many therapists that were not helpful at all, and I felt like I was just talking in circles and often re-traumatizing myself. And I think there are several reasons for this. There's just one that I'm going to focus on right now, and it's that when we want to heal from trauma, when we want to heal something in our lives, we need to heal it at the physical, mental, and spiritual levels. There is a holistic model of healing that is very important. And traditional therapy, especially talk therapy, is really only focused on the mind. So it only checks off 1/3 of the equation. So it can be helpful, but it can also be a very slow path to healing. And sometimes talking about things over and over again when we're not tending to the other 2 dimensions can re-traumatize us more in the long run. And so just for an example, say there's a little boy who had some physical abuse when he was really young. Let's say this little boy was physically abused by his father when he was around 6 years old. At the mental level, this is going to cause this hypervigilance, this fear, always being on the toes, the little boy looking out for ways to keep himself safe, always kind of on the lookout, dysregulated in the mind in that way, not at ease. The body, just as the mind, has its own system for encoding memories, and these are called implicit memories. We can also kind of think of it like muscle memory, how we can drive our car and tie our shoes and not have to think about it. We need these implicit memories. They're very, very helpful. But we also encode implicit memories of trauma. So say that little boy is now in 6th grade and the person sitting next to him accidentally knocks a book off the desk and it hits the floor with a thud. And then all of a sudden that little boy is curled up in a ball, getting really small, totally dysregulated, feeling fear because he came to associate loud noises with not being safe, and it activates this implicit memory inside of the body. And then at the spiritual level, when we are children, our concept of the world, our concept of God, our concept of existence is very much informed by our caregivers. And if this little boy had a father who was abusive, then there's a good chance he started to encode this worldview that the world isn't safe. I am not protected. God is not benevolent. And in that way, there becomes a tear in the spiritual connection to life, which is our connection to God, to the environment, and to other people, because at the core essence, we are spiritual beings. And so if we want to truly heal trauma in our lives or challenges or limitations, it's extraordinarily important for us to work at the level of the body, the level of the mind, and the spiritual level as well. And when we can approach it from all 3 levels, then we are actually healing in this whole holistic way, and we can heal much more effectively and pleasurably and efficiently than just approaching from one of these 3 levels. And that's really the work that we do in Neurosovereignty, is healing on all 3 levels with this end goal of resurrecting yourself into a sanctuary so that you may be the safe space for yourself and the safe space for others. And I think this for others piece is really important, because with all of the chaos in the world right now, I think the greatest service, the greatest gift we can give to the collective is to become this sanctuary. But it's counterintuitive because we have to do it for ourselves first. The service comes for ourselves first, because we cannot give anything away that we don't already embody. I can't give you a snack out of my pocket if there's no snack in my pocket to give you. And so this is why it's always an inside job, why we must put our own mask on first, and we must delayer any of the narratives of shame or guilt that tell us otherwise, or else we're always going to be seeking down the wrong path. Yeah. Anyway, fam, I'm stoked to have this channel started. I'll have videos coming out weekly on different neurosovereignty musings, what it means to turn your mind, your body, your spiritual nature into a sanctuary, balancing your internal masculine and feminine energetic dynamics, how we can heal through the energy of grace, and so much more, so much more. So thank you for being here. I'm excited to be embarking on this journey.